Today on Doomed! It is the first stream, the first Doomed show of 2022 or 2022, however you want to call it. My name is Matt Binder, and it is great to be back after an unexpected week off right before the new year. I got some news for you all, a little news that you already know if you were on social media, you follow me on Twitter, or if you are just reading, honestly, quite frankly, the title of this live stream. It sort of gives it all away, doesn't it? I also got good news too, though. So I got good news and bad news. But before I give you any news, to start off the first Doomed of 2022. By the way, it is Tuesday, January 4th right now. Not the usual Thursday, obviously, but last week there was no show for a reason I'm about to go into. So I owe you guys a show. So this Tuesday show, which I usually do, well, why am I still not on the screen? What's wrong with me? Here I am. Hello, everybody. I look a little bit like shit, but I'll get to that in a minute. But usually, like I said, Tuesday is the Twitch Tuesday stream I started doing just literally a month or two ago. But this week, I'm going to give this to everybody, and it's not just on Twitch. You can watch on YouTube right now, and I'll get to why we're on YouTube in a second, too. But first, let me let you know why I did not have a Doomed last week. I thought I announced it on the, honestly, I thought I announced it on the Patreon page, so you all would have got it, but apparently it didn't work because I'm an idiot. But if you're in the Discord and you get into the Discord by being a patron, you know what happened to me as well if you aren't also on Twitter. But anyway, without any further ranting on my part, I got COVID. Well, the whole family got COVID. Well, I think I got COVID. I'm pretty sure I got COVID. I can't tell you with 100% certainty I got COVID, but I got COVID. And I can tell you with 100% certainty that my partner and my 2-year-old daughter, they both got COVID 100%. They took the test, got positive. Me and my 6-year-old son, we also got sick. We didn't go get tested because, half the family got tested, so should we too? It's pretty clear we all got COVID. It would be if one of us, if me and the 6-year-old got a test and it said we didn't have COVID, I would say, what the hell happened? We just happened to get, that doesn't make any sense. We live in a small, 1.5 bedroom apartment in Queens, New York. We literally share the same everything in this tiny place. They gave me COVID, or I gave them COVID, or someone got COVID and spread it to the whole family. So we got COVID. So that's the bad news. That's the bad news. I got COVID after literally almost 2 whole years of not getting it because we were very careful and, took precautions and all that. We somehow ended up getting COVID. I am going to go further into it in just a second. But first, I wanted to tell you guys the good news, and some of you might have noticed it already. Here is the good news. I see some people definitely did just notice it. I'm going to pull this up on the screen. Oh, I forgot to put the little Doomed logo in the corner. Why isn't that there? What's going on? Where's my Doomed logo? In the corner of the stream. Here it is. Boom. Here's what I want to show you guys, though. Just today, I received an email from YouTube. Congratulations, your YouTube channel, Matt Binder, has been accepted into the YouTube Partner Program and is now able to monetize on YouTube. Folks, I've been remonetized. I honestly did not remember when I lost the monetization. So I actually was able to, apparently when you're monetized on YouTube, they show you all the super chats you've ever gotten. I was actually able to use that to see the last time I got any super chats was all the way back in September of 2021. So literally the last 4 months of 2021, my YouTube channel was demonetized. If you recall, I got demonetized for reusing content. That is a YouTube policy where they don't want you uploading other people's content. If you want to know how I broke that rule, it beats me. They wouldn't tell me. They just basically say what you broke. They don't say what it is, what content broke the policy. But somehow I broke the policy, by streaming me sitting here looking at you all, talking to you all. I somehow broke that policy of not uploading other people's content, and I lost monetization. And it took them this long after I reapplied to remonetize my channel. But here we are, January 4th, 2022. The YouTube channel is once again monetized. I can make money off the ads on the videos again. People have been asking me to do this. I'll do it. I'll set it up. Can't do it yet, but I'll set it up. You could subscribe to the YouTube channel with money like you do Patreon. Some people prefer to do that. I'll set that up for you. But most importantly, super chats and super stickers are back. You can now drop a super chat to give me a one-off, and it'll be so much easier for me to read all your YouTube comments because I'll just be able to just go to the super chat ones and read them. Abby with a super chat. 25 out of 85 employees at my work have COVID. Happy COVID super chat. Alan, my pops, with a super chat says says you're monetized again. I am, Dad. I am indeed. Donald James with a super chat. Oh my God, I hope the best for the kids. I'm sure they'll be fine. In the meantime, I'll buy you a drink. Thank you for the super chat, Donald James. And B Buccaneer with just not even saying anything, just throwing me a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Super chat. So, on the bad end of things, I got COVID. On the good end of things, YouTube channel remonetized. Whoop-de-doo. Yeah, we're coming up roses. But also, I should say, being that I was out for a week, it seems like we lost a lot of Twitch subscribers too. Lost more than half of them, I would say. Remember, if you subscribe to Amazon Prime, you can give me a free paid Twitch subscription every month. It comes you get one free subscription to any Twitch channel with your Amazon Prime subscription. And you're basically taking free money from Jeff Bezos and giving it to whatever Twitch channel you want to. So if you haven't subscribed to another Twitch creator, go to twitch.tv/MattBinder and give me that free Twitch subscription. You're basically giving me money for nothing. So yeah, that'd be great. So yeah, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitch, monetized on both. We're firing at all cylinders here. Also, lost a lot of Patreons too. New year, people gotta drop out. I get it. We're well below that old 300 patron goal. So if you can, patreon.com/MattBinder, subscribe, and yeah. I'm a little bit backed up, obviously, because I was backed up or behind because, I was sick. But the second podcast live stream show on all things cryptocurrency is coming along. Well, probably, I'm thinking I originally was shooting for it to launch this week. But again, I'm behind. So probably next week, maybe the week after. But we are looking at no later than mid-January, I believe. And I will name drop all the information you need to know. I promise you. I promise you that. So I'll let you guys know more about that very soon. Without any further ado, let's jump into the topic of today's show. And this is a very rare topic. Rarely ever do this for an actual main topic of the show. But the main topic of the show, the first doomed live stream, really my first live stream of 2022, is me. I am the topic. I wanted to do one last 2021 show. I wasn't going to do a look back show or the top stories of the year. I hate those things. I hate the top stories or looking back at the top. I hate that type of thing. Really. It really bugs me. I don't like looking at time like that. Like what we're leaving behind in 2020. No. I don't like that shit. What we were all talking about in 2020. Give me a break. No, I don't like that shit. But I was going to do a last stream last week looking at probably like look forward, actually. Taking what happened in 2021 and projecting into what would happen based on all that in 2022. But we're now in 2022. And what happened at the end of 2021 was I got COVID. And basically, let me give you a rundown of the last time we spoke. So, I had my, well, did we do the Christmas? Oh yeah, we did the War on Christmas episode with Parker Malloy. And then the following week, I did a Tuesday stream. And then the Thursday before Christmas, did not do a stream because, as I had mentioned, there were two things going on. One is that everybody was not going to, a lot of people weren't going to be available to even come on the show, and I'm sure the audience had been a lot smaller watching. The day before Christmas Eve is very, very busy, obviously, especially with Christmas being on a Saturday, so Christmas Eve being on a Friday. People getting out, doing their holiday thing. And also, I took my kids to see Santa Claus, that Thursday. So, there was no show Thursday. But I was on the Majority Report final live stream of 2021 that Thursday. Did the episode with the crew, the whole show. We did the whole show. It was a full, 3 hours with Emma and Brandon and Matt Leck. That was fun. You should definitely go check out that episode. It was a really good episode if you didn't already. And then, excuse me. And then, Christmas. Had a very happy Christmas with the family. Hope you all did too. And then the week after, no, not the week after, the day after Christmas, I believe, yeah. Took the family on a little road trip. Decided, they're off. I'm off. Let's go down to D.C. My kid was really interested in seeing, the 6-year-old is really into like the United States and the presidents and stuff like that right now. And like the states, like, the 50 states and naming them and the capital and all that stuff. So we went down to, we saw the White House, saw, the Lincoln Memorial, the Strip, the mall, whatever it is, just outdoors stuff, keeping it safe. Now, at some point, I'm pretty sure I was the first to get it because I was the first person to show symptoms. At some point, we got COVID. Now, I personally think we got COVID on Christmas Eve. Because what we did on Christmas Eve is we went to family in Manhattan. And that's what we usually do Christmas Eve, see family in Manhattan. Really just like the mother-in-law. And what we usually do was on Christmas Eve night, we take a walk to like the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree, et cetera, et cetera. And before the pandemic, we did that. Everything was fine. No big deal. 2020, we did that. Christmas 2020, we did that. And it was very empty down there. I mean, it was Christmas 2020, so, vaccine was starting to be rolled out. But it was very empty, much emptier than usual down there. And there were a lot of, security, making sure that the flow was good and everything. So we went down there thinking the same. And it wasn't. It was very packed. We were still outdoors, obviously. We were wearing masks. but it was very packed. Probably should have skipped it this year, but again, we did it in 2020, which was much worse, or supposedly supposed to be much worse before vaccines. But there was a lot more precautions then, I guess. I think that's when we got it. That's the biggest crowd I've been in, honestly. I'm not sure. I went to an AEW show in early December, which was indoors in a big like basketball hockey stadium, arena, I should say. But I don't know. That was December 8th or something. So I'm pretty sure it had to have. That wasn't when I got it. But that was definitely the biggest crowd I've been in since the pandemic. Was, I would say, Rockefeller Center. I posted a picture of me in front of the replacement Fox News tree, if you saw that night, paying my respects at the on the battlefield of the 2021 War on Christmas. I'm pretty sure that's when we got it, though. But we didn't start showing symptoms till the end of the DC trip, like literally the day we were leaving. We were only in DC for like 2 days. 3, but not really. If you combine the actual hours, it was 2 days. Because we got there late the first day. Really just had the one full day the second day, and then left early the third day. So last day in DC, I'm feeling sick. We get in the car, drive. I drove the 4.5 hours with COVID. Not knowing it was COVID, I thought I just came out with a cold or something. Because really, it was just like the night before, I probably had like a small fever. And then we got in the car. No more fever. I was just feeling like, body aches. Really, that was it at that point. Cough. Runny nose. But that was it at that point. And then we get home that day, and the 6-year-old is sick. He's got a fever. And then the next morning, he has it. He had a bad fever that night. And the next morning we wake up, and the 2-year-old is starting to show symptoms. And so that day we were pretty sick. This is like the 29th or the 30th at this point. It's pretty clear we're all coming down with something. Their mom gets sick. And then the next day, I am pretty much feeling a lot better. The 6-year-old's feeling a lot better. But their mom and the 2-year-old are still sick. And the 2-year-old's got a pretty bad cough at this point. She slept straight through the morning, actually, which is rare for her. Like, she woke up, went on the couch, and fell back asleep, which never happens. So we got her tested, and the test came back positive. We took her to the her pediatrician, and they tested her there, and it came back positive. And then my partner, their mom went and got tested, and hers came back positive. And by the next day, everyone is pretty much starting to feel better. Although I lost my taste and smell, and it was after I had all the sick symptoms, which was weird, like the fever and my and the cough and everything. That was at the end of the DC trip, and then like that first night back. I didn't lose my taste and smell until like a day or two after, when I was already starting to feel better. I thought that was going to be like the tell. This whole time you're reading that, like, oh, did you still have your taste and your smell? Then you probably don't have COVID. Like, I thought that's like what people say, right? I lost those senses after the fever and the cough and everything. And I know because I was tasting food, obviously. Now, of the people who are vaxxed in my family, I, at the time, had 2 shots. My partner, 2 shots. The 6-year-old and the 2-year-old, not vaccinated. Now you're probably saying, why isn't the 6-year-old vaccinated? Because our 6-year-old is very, very bad with shots. So we can't just take him, like, it's a whole thing. Like, when we take him to the pediatrician and he needs like a regular vaccination, it takes multiple people to like hold him down. He's a beast. It's like turns to the Incredible Hulk for these vaccines. The 2-year-old sits there, gets 2-year-old doesn't even cry when she gets a shot. Weirdest thing. She literally sits there like she looks like shocked afterwards. Like, what did you do to me? But she doesn't even cry. The 6-year-old, complete meltdown when he gets vaccinated. So for the COVID vaccine, we couldn't just take him somewhere to like a city location where it's just like a whole bunch of people, just like random nurses and like stuff, just like giving shots like on a conveyor belt. We had to put him on a wait list with his pediatrician. And he's been on this wait list for a while now. Of course, by the way, they called us and said they had a last minute opening when we were in DC and we couldn't take it, obviously. But so we've been waiting for his pediatrician to have the vaccine available so we can give it to him. So the 6-year-old isn't vaccinated yet, even though he's on the list to get vaccinated. 2-year-old can't get vaccinated. Now the 6-year-old actually, he got it he had the least issue. Like, he had a bad fever one night and was sick, but like I wouldn't even say he was sick for 24 hours. Like that next morning he was already like on the way back to like feeling better. Like obviously he still had a cough and was a little bit sick, but he was still like on the way back to feeling better. He probably got it the least. In terms of symptoms and like how bad it was for him. Now here's the thing too. When we got back to DC the next day, I wasn't sick anymore. But this is still before we knew we had COVID because no one tested positive and I was the only one showing symptoms. By that next day though, I was already feeling better. So I went and got my booster without knowing that I was likely COVID positive. Without knowing I was COVID positive. There was a Pfizer. My local place had the Pfizer booster available. I got Moderna originally from the 2 shots, but there was no Moderna by me. Also, I wanted that $100 from the city. And that was like the last day to get it at my local city place. And so I got the booster. While likely having COVID, after I was done with the symptoms, without knowing I had COVID. The funny thing is they ask you too, like, do you have COVID? And I was like, no. Have you? Nope. I just had, I had a runny nose, cough, I think maybe allergies, I think I said when they asked those questions. Because that's really all it was. The symptom that actually stayed with me the longest when I had COVID was actually my bones ached for days. Especially like my hips and my back and my neck just killed me, ached for days. Like usually when I get sick, that happens. But not like it was the most prevalent symptom and it lasted much longer than anything else. It was weird. I will say to people who say it's just like the flu, it's not. It felt really weird. Like I wouldn't say it was worse or better. And of course, we had different reactions than everybody else. We were very lucky that all 4 of us, the 6-year-old and 2-year-old, were fairly good with it. The 2-year-old got the worst. She had a really bad, dry, like barky cough for a while. But as they were they're unvaccinated, and they got through it pretty quick. My significant other, my partner, she, she was fine after a couple days too with a fever. And I had a fever like one night, and then The losing your taste and smell thing is super bizarre. Let's really get into that. Like, tasted nothing, no matter what I ate. No, let me be serious. Like, it's not like a, like when you're sick, food tastes different. It wasn't even that. There was no taste. The lack of taste. To really try to test it, we had like a really strong like mango fruit ice pops in the fridge, in the freezer, and that night I lost my taste. I ate it, and it was like just biting coal, like just biting ice. There was no flavor. It was so weird. So weird. Just no flavor. The absence of flavor. And the weird thing about smell is like I usually like don't smell things, but like there was no like, cat was in the litter box and there was no like litter smell when I'm cleaning it or anything. Like just no smell, like just fresh air. Really weird. Usually when you clean the litter box, you do smell because you're smell what the cat did because you're obviously sifting through the litter that's supposed to make it smell good, and um it is definitely one of the weirdest things not being able to taste or smell. The taste one especially. Like I think I would have preferred the usual thing that happens when you're sick is that like stuff just tastes different and you don't want it. Like it just doesn't taste good. Because at least there would have been some sort of taste. I think the hold on. I think the 2-year-old is awake. 1 second. Maybe I should go in. Oh yeah, she's awake. Give me a second, guys. Just give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. Sorry. I guess I forgot to tell their mom that I was doing a live stream, and so she didn't know there was no one going. There was no one in there to. My bad. Um, where was I? Um, where was I? Oh yeah. So yeah, not being able to taste, very bizarre. Very bizarre. Um, what else? What else? What else? So I got the booster. Oh, I will say, booster. When I got the first 2 shots, the Moderna vaccine, I'd like the next day you feel kind of sick, right? The next day you feel kind of out of it. I think I just slept those days away. Like I took off and slept those days away. Like I had no choice. You feel like completely out of it or whatever. Now I don't know if it's because I had COVID again without realizing before that or still had it. Um, but with the Pfizer booster, I didn't feel like even extra sick or anything like that. In fact, that day was the first day I was feeling better, and I didn't feel worse the next day. Um, but one really weird thing happened is my armpit started like hurting a lot, and I looked it up, and apparently the boosters can cause your lymph nodes to swell, and apparently you got lymph nodes in your armpits. And apparently that's what happened to me. Like there's like like a stinging sensation, really like strong actually. Luckily, it was only for that day. The next day, because I got the vaccine, the booster at night. So the next day, but after that day, um, it was already gone. But it was a really like a real burning sensation. My nodes were swollen. uh, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, the kid, the 6-year-old, has been home from school. Um, by the way, those new CDC guidelines with 5 days. Schools aren't going by that. We took him. I went to take him back to school today, which would be day 6, because there's no more symptoms. And they were like, nope, we're still going by 10 days. He can't come in yet. SV Harkin on Twitch says, these nodes. Right, yep. My nodes were swollen. Damn nodes. Let me read some more super chats. Oh, let me open up Skype too. If anyone wants to call in, Skype. And I thought I'd share my COVID experience for people who have had it or haven't had it. You know, compare your experience, know what could possibly happen to you. Very lucky, I think. We were vaccinated, 2 out of 4 of us. Again, the 6-year-old is on the list to get vaccinated, and the 2-year-old can't. But I mean, I think obviously we got Omicron, because from what I see, it is the least powerful, the least strong of these. Yet it's also the easiest to spread, which I believe is also one reason. Because I mean, it's not like we just stopped doing anything, like stopped taking any sort of precautions. Yeah. And I should say, I beat COVID, or I got through COVID, without throwing the kitchen sink at it. I literally drove for 5 hours with COVID, unbeknownst to me. I think I took, because I can't swallow pills, I took some chewable Motrin. And that was the extent of the kitchen sink I threw at it. B Buccaneer asks, do you have a sore throat? I don't. No, my throat is fine. It's not sore at all. I do feel maybe like a tickle every now and then, like once or twice, a few times, like maybe like a handful of times a day. And that's about it. Tickle in my throat. But didn't need to use ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, the colloidal antibodies, whatever the hell they're called. Didn't need any of that shit. The kitchen sink. You see that? You see that, Joe Rogan? Fucking ridiculous. Ivermectin and all those, throwing that shit at that. I drove for 5 hours with COVID. No rest and relaxation. 5 hours. Up and down the East Coast. The next day, I was on a 2-hour outdoor line to get my booster shot. All this time, unbeknownst to me, with COVID. And I beat it with a few tablets of chewable Motrin. These guys are ridiculous, man. But no, I mean, if you had it and you had it very like a very you got lucky and had very mild symptoms, or even just like a day or two of like flu-like symptoms. I mean, I can see how if you're an uncaring type of person with no empathy and can't put yourself in other people's shoes, I can see how you were like, this was really easy to beat. I don't believe this is killing people. Or no way that many people are dying from COVID. Or people are dying with COVID, but there's other underlying reasons. They're not dying of COVID. You're seeing that a lot lately. I mean, give me a break. I could easily see how if you're not vaccinated or someone who's older or have a number of comorbidities, I can see how this would affect you. And again, I'm pretty sure based on the variant going around now, we got the lesser serious of the variants. Um, but I mean, the idea that like people get sick in different ways. I mean, people also die of the flu, and a lot of people also don't get the flu and don't die from it. So I mean, the idea that like one sickness doesn't treat one person completely different than another person is ridiculous. Just put yourself in someone else's shoes. What has this changed like my outlook on anything whatsoever? Um, I mean, I already took it seriously. I already thought we weren't doing enough. I'll say this: it did make me realize because I never had to worry about going to get tested or anything like that because me and everyone in my family, except for the two kids I mentioned, are vaccinated. Like my parents, my partner's parents, everybody, the four of us, my siblings, everyone that I've seen in my family since the pandemic began, everyone's vaccinated. Um, so we never really had a reason to go get um to go get vaccinated. I mean to go get tested, excuse me, to go get tested. Um but yeah. Made me realize that we have a very bad testing regimen or whatever it's supposed to be called. It's not easy to get tested. If you want to know if you have COVID so you don't spread it to other people or when it's okay for you like to get back to work or whatever or to school if you're in school or whatever it is. And I was reading that the at-home tests that people are buying are about to get more expensive because like the deal those companies made with the U.S. government is expiring to like price them at a certain affordable price point. And I hate that. It should be free, but it's about to get even more expensive. I think it was like $14 or something. If you could find them too, by the way. Um. All right, guys and gals and everybody. I think I'm gonna wrap up a little bit early because I think the 2 year old is having a rough night. She's still awake in there. I hear her still. So I'm going to cut this stream a little bit short. I was just gonna go through. I could just do it on Thursday's show, no problem. I was gonna do a few Eric Adams clips, and then take a few calls. But let me read the final super chat. I said there was a few more super chats, and then that's the show. Peasant Chick says, I missed being able to send super chats. Happy New Year. Renee says, get better. Hang in there, Enid and Ezra. That's my daughter and son. Samantha Sider says, congrats on remonetization. Hope you're feeling better. And Renee with another super chat says, look at my channel, see how I Sub-Zero Naruto it up for COVID. Oh, all right. No idea what that means, but I will. Alicia says, sucks to be 21 and suffering from stroke symptoms. I hate it. No, I have Omicron, really struggling with it at times. Right. I hope I hope you're okay and that things get better, Alicia. Everyone is getting it differently. And there really doesn't seem to be, obviously, if you have comorbidities, it could be worse, but there really doesn't seem to be like a set. Some people are just getting it worse than others, and some people are getting lucky and not. But yeah, I will be back on Thursday for the Thursday show, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. January 6th, by the way, it'd be the 1 year anniversary. So the show will probably be after that of the old storming of the Capitol that happened last year. And I will see you all next time on Doomed.